Gosh, I haven't done a worth buying cheap video in a long time. I guess it's because I always tend to concentrate on the same games, don't I? It's always PUBG, DayZ, Battlefield, Call of Duty, that sort of thing. But I have been putting a lot of time into Fallout recently. And in fact, I've played, I think, almost all of the games. I've played Fallout 76, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 2, Fallout 1, only a little bit of those, and of course, Fallout 4. So this video is Fallout 4, is it worth buying cheap review? And of course, absolutely, 100% this game absolutely is. So just in case there's anybody out there who hasn't played Fallout 4, or I guess there could be quite a few people who maybe bought Fallout 4, dipped their toe into it back in 2015 when it came out, but maybe for a variety of reasons. Maybe it didn't run that well on your PlayStation 4 or your Xbox One, maybe you had a few crashes, or maybe you weren't really into the RPG-ness of it at the time. Now's the time to dive back in, because you can buy it cheap. Remember, always go for the Game of the Year edition that's got the expansions, because it does have some really cool expansions. Fallout 4. There's Far Harbor, and there's Nuka-Cola Town, I think it's called, or something like that, or Nuka World, and there's a couple of smaller ones as well. You can normally get it for less than a tenner, and it really is very, very good. Percy, for me, I remember back in 2017, I had a mate at work, Keith, who was really into Fallout 4, and he kept saying, you know, you got to play it, it's really good. But at the time, sort of 2017-ish, I guess that would have been a couple of years after it had been out, I was really into like PUBG and Call of Duty and Battlefield, and I was just like, no, that's not my sort of game. What do you mean? Nuclear apocalypse, you know, that sounds cool, but who's this Pip-Boy character? What's all this cartoonish stuff? Role-playing, you're joking. Building settlements, I'm not interested in any of that. You know, so anyway, that was me at the time. However, now, what's happened is, I've been playing Fallout 4 mainly because it's a game I've had for a long time on my PC library, and I wanted a game that I could play all the way through on my Steam Deck. And it plays lovely on the Steam Deck, you know, plays at 60 frames a second on high settings. Plays even better on my gaming PC. You know, it rocks along at about 120 frames a second most of the time. And if you play this on your PlayStation 5 or your Xbox Series S or Xbox Series X, it's going to play absolutely beautifully. And I've fallen in love with it. Now, I know for lots of people, Fallout 4 isn't the top of the heap of Fallout games. Often, Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3 are seen as better games in terms of story. But what I really like about Fallout 4 is that it looks really good as well. So you've got an interesting story. And really with Fallout games, you've got, there's about sort of, well, with this particular one, there's about 5 aspects to it. And the fact that it looks so good, you know, it gives you that start of, wow, this game looks pretty amazing. I need to explore and find out what's going on. So you've got kind of the main quest that you've got to do. So you're following the story of why you're there in the nuclear apocalypse, sort of 200 years after the nuclear apocalypse happened. You know, you've been frozen. You were around before the war started. You were frozen inside a vault, and then you've emerged, and you've got then a quest to do, like the main storyline. But you've also got these side quests that you pick up on along the way, and there's loads and loads, dozens of those as well. Then you've got basic exploration, because you've got this massive wasteland and these cities and towns to explore as well. So you can just wander off and just discover side quests and encounters and things like that. And you've also got settlements. Now, this is for me, this has been something I've got very addicted to. So settlements are where you kind of clear an area of enemies, and you claim the workshop of that particular area, and then you can build things. So you can build defenses, you can put crops down, build houses, that sort of stuff, and attract NPCs to your settlement, who will then proceed to do the jobs of defending it, or growing crops, or repairing it, doing all sorts of stuff, maybe being doctors or traders, all this sort of stuff. And the size of these settlements really vary. So some of the ones you find are really small, some of them are really big, and it is fascinating and so much fun, because you've got to find the resources to bring into the settlement to do what you want to do, to build the things you want to do. So fantastic. And then the final aspect is leveling up. So this is the RPG. So this is the fact that you can kind of choose what type of character you want to be roughly at the beginning of the game. You know, do you want them to be lucky or strong or fast or stealthy, that sort of stuff. And then you get points as you level up, and you can choose how to improve these things. This is the special system. So you might want to build a character who's really good with guns and really strong, or you might want to build a character who's really good with computers and hacking and really stealthy, or they're very lucky, or they're very good at influencing other people to do things for them or give them things. And that's a lot of fun, and I've enjoyed that. And I think, even though I'm an old geezer, I think probably if you were to look at the types of games that I previously played a lot of, you could say my gaming maturity was quite low, because I like playing lots of shooters like Call of Duty and Battlefield and stuff like that. And these games that have a little bit more depth, like Fallout, I would kind of avoid a little bit. But I think I can now really appreciate what these games are trying to do. I think sometimes what would happen is I would poo-poo the storylines a bit, and I would go, well, this is a bit silly. But often, games, just like films, have to be silly, don't they? Because they're not about real life. And if you can embrace their silliness and go along with it, then you can have a great time. And that's what I've been having with Fallout 4. And I'm looking forward to carry on playing through it on my Steam Deck. Basically, so that I've got a game that I played all the way through on my Steam Deck, so I can do better reviews about the Steam Deck. But the game itself is really fantastic. So, Fallout 4, Game of the Year edition. If you see it going cheap on whatever platform you're on, snap it up, give it a go, persevere with it. Give it a few hours, give it a chance to shine, and I'm sure you'll fall in love just like I have. So there we go. Anyway, that's enough from me. Fallout 4, worth buying cheap. Absolutely. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again soon.